Last Tuesday on NXT, we saw Tatum, Paxley. Actually, sorry, let me rephrase that. This past Saturday, I meant to say Saturday, not Tuesday. Words, people, words. This past Saturday at NXT Vengeance Day, we saw Tatum Paxley defeat Izzy Dame to become the new NXT Women's North American Champion. Huge congrats to Tatum Paxley. Excuse me, and now she has a potential guaranteed spot on the card of NXT Stand and Deliver, which from the rumors I've been hearing, Stand and Deliver could very may will be the last PLE on Peacock. And the only way that can be avoided is if WWE strikes up a brand new deal with Peacock for NXT, which honestly, I'm hoping that is going to be the case. But we will have to wait and see. But with Izzy Dame and the culling now in the rear view mirror of Tatum Paxley, the question becomes, who will be Tatum's first challenger on the road to Stand and Deliver? Honestly, this is a very difficult. This is going to be a bit of a difficult discussion because while it is true that yes, Tatum Paxley has won her second championship ever in WWE, being the NXT Women's North American title, her reign as NXT Women's Champion was a bit short-lived, and I think she learns from her mistakes, and I think she's she'll still be a fighting champion, but I think she's gonna be the champion that wants to do the same thing that Carmelo Hayes is doing with the United States title and hosting open challenges either every single week or once every few weeks, which honestly I think is a good idea because it gives new superstars the chance to show off their talent and potentially put them in the main event scene. So with that being said, let's get down to it because again, this is gonna be very, very difficult because there is a plethora of talent, not just from NXT, but also from TNA and AAA that could potentially challenge. On the side of NXT, you've got Adriana Rizzo. Obviously, Rizzo has not been seen in WWE in well over 8 months due to a very severe knee injury that has put her on the shelf for this whole time. Ariana Grace, the current TNA Knockouts champion. Blake Monroe, a former North American champion in her own right. Carly Bright, who we had seen a little bit of on WWE Evolve. Fallon Henley, a former North American champion, the current Women's Speed champion. Izzy Dame, the previous North American champion. JC Jane, the current NXT Women's Champion, Jada Parker, Carmen Petrovich, Kalani Jordan, the first ever North American Champion, Kendall Gray, the current Evolve Women's Champion, Lainey Reed, Lola Vice, Nikita Lyons, who we've seen not only on Evolve but also on NXT. Sol Ruka, the former champion as well. Thea Hale, another former champion. Tyra May Steele, who we've seen on WWE Evolve, who apparently has decided to stay with Evolve even in spite of winning an NXT contract courtesy of LFG Season 1. And then of course Wendy Chu, Ren Sinclair, and of course Zarya. And then on the side of TNA, On the side of TNA, the list, the amount of talent that is in TNA, it's absolutely insane. It is truly a stacked roster for TNA, and that is if my iPhone can stop cutting off the Wi-Fi. Thank you. So, on the side of TNA, if this will actually load, you've got all the members of the Elegance brand, Heather by Elegance, M by Elegance, and then of course Ash by Elegance, Alicia Edwards, the Angel Warriors, obviously Zaya Brookside and Lei Ying Lee, who is a former Knockouts champion. Who else is in here? Danny Luna, who is a former WWE superstar, part of the NXT UK brand. Elena Black, aka Cora Jade. Harley Hudson, I think is her name. Indy Hartwell, who is a former NXT Women's Champion, if you can believe that. Jada Stone, Jody Threat, Killing King, Mara Sade, aka Jakara Jackson, who was also a part of NXT for a while. Mila Moore, I think is her name. Mila Grace, who is a former NXT UK superstar. Rosemary, Tasha Steeles, Tessa Blanchard, who has quite the attitude on her, to say the very least. Victoria Crawford, aka Alicia Fox, and then of course again I mentioned Zara Brookside, and then on the side of TNA, AAA, you've got all three members of Los Toxicas, including La Hiedra and the current Reina de Reinas champion, Lady Flammer. You have Fabi Apache. You got quite the plethora of talent across all three brands. But the question is, who should be the first challenger for Tatum Paxley and the Women's North American Champion? Interestingly enough, this would be a first for professional wrestling, especially in AAA, if a AAA star challenged for an NXT title. Obviously, Mr. Iguana challenged Ethan Page for the men's North American title when All Ego was champion. He even also defended the title against oh my god, the current Latin American champion Elio del Dr. Wagner Jr. He had been in the ring with quite a few stars from AAA, but if I had to pick two from each brand, as crazy as this sounds, right? Like if I'm being completely honest, we need to see something never thought possible, right? So my honest opinion, I would probably say Mara Sade from TNA. Also from TNA, I would probably say Zaya Brookside. On the side of NXT, I would say Sol Ruka and definitely Izzy Dame. Excuse me. And on the side of AAA, I would say Fabi Apache and La Hiedra. Mara Sade, because both Mara and Zaya, because they never once held gold in WWE in any capacity, whether they were from NXT, NXT UK, it didn't matter. They never once held gold. Yes, they did challenge for gold in WWE, but they never reached the summit. And I think this would be a good opportunity for either of those two to take that next step and finally win a championship in NXT, even though they are now a part of TNA. So I think it would be very interesting. Sol Ruka and Izzy Dame, they're both owed rematches. Sol Ruka never got her proper never got a proper rematch for the title due to injury. I think Sol Ruka taking a break away from the NXT Women's title and putting herself back into the North American title picture, I think it would be better off anyway. And as far as Izzy goes, I mean, again, she's owed a rematch, and I think it's only a matter of time before she does get that rematch. In spite of people believing that she's ready to get called up to the main roster. Um, Now, as far as Fabi Apache goes, she had been impressive every time she appears in the ring, whether it's in NXT, AAA, it doesn't matter. She's always been impressive, and who knows? I mean, we could see it. It's very possible, and I do believe that because of how successful Fabi Apache has been in AAA, I wouldn't be surprised if Fabi Apache walked into NXT, challenged Tatum Paxley for the title, and then win it at on a grand stage like Stand and Deliver, even though it's going to be in a smaller venue, which is kind of upsetting. And then, of course, as far as La Hiedra goes, I mean, here's the thing, right? Lady Flammer is the current Reina de Reinas champion, and she's the only woman in the group that has gold. What better way to further establish the dominance of Los Toxicas than simply by having La Hiedra win championship gold in the form of the women's North American title. So between these 6 women, who should take up that challenge? Well, definitely not Mara Sade. Because from what I've been hearing, apparently she has been she's been too busy dealing with Ryan Nemeth over in TNA, and it'll be a while. It'll be a while before we see Mara Sade go after championship gold. On the side of NXT, I would have to say, as crazy as it sounds, I would have to say Sol Ruka. I don't think Sol is going to be going after the title simply because of the fact that she is more focused on the NXT Women's title, and I wouldn't be surprised if she does become champion when NXT goes to Houston. I think next Tuesday, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be either next Tuesday or the following Tuesday. I don't remember. Excuse me. And then on the side of AAA, definitely not Fabi Apache. I think because that we haven't seen Fabi Apache that much in the ring, it's hard to say if we are going to get if it bleh, words it's hard to say whether or not we will see her back in the ring. I know that we've seen her a few times, but because that AAA's shows on WWE's YouTube page only air for like an hour, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Fabi Apache in the ring again. But with Rey de Reyes coming up, we could see her. It's possible, but I don't think it's gonna be Fabi Apache. So between Zaya Brookside, Izzy Dame, and La Hiedra, who could take up the challenge? As crazy as this sounds, I think it's going to be Izzy Dame. I think solely because when you really think about it, Izzy Dame she's definitely gonna go on social media, and she's gonna ramble saying how Tatum's victory was a fluke, and how she's just a transitional champion like she was with the NXT Women's title, blah blah blah. So I think the only way for Tatum Paxley to silence the doubters is if she defeats Izzy Dame one more time. Like that's literally all there is to it. My opinion, I think that's what's gonna end up happening, but we will have to wait and see. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.